Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode. It is I, Nathaniel, Avila, reporting from Greater Orlando. I'm here with Timbrel, Hildebrand, reporting from Arlington, Texas. Yep. And what are we talking about today?
We're going to talk about The Last Jedi.
The Last Jedi. That's the best film ever, right?
I liked The Last Jedi.
You liked it?
Yes, I did.
Oh, snap. I didn't expect that. I thought you would be one of the people who didn't like it.
Well, I like it pretty well.
Okay. But would you say it's the best Star Wars film?
I wouldn't say it was the best.
Oh, snap. Okay, so what is your initial thoughts of it?
I mean, I think it's a pretty good movie. It feels like your kind of regular sequel movie where things get darker and then you are left with a cliffhanger so that they can finish it off in the, final movie.
Yeah, but to be honest, I don't think they really did that in the final film. They kind of started like retconning things.
Some people feel that way.
Yeah. So, let's get started. So, the first question is, what did you think of the character of Rose? Because a lot of people didn't like her.
I don't really mind her. I think she's a cute enough character, I guess. I don't necessarily think she was necessary, but I didn't hate her or anything. I think she was a cute character.
Okay, did you believe in the romance that she had with Finn?
I guess I believe that she was into him, but I don't think he was into her.
Okay, do you think he's still into Rey?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So, do you think it was justified, all the hate that she got?
I mean, I don't think it's ever justified to hate on anyone, so I think it wasn't cool that everyone was unkind to the actress. I mean, she didn't decide what she would be saying and what the lines were or any of that. So, I mean, I don't think she deserved any hate. I don't think there was anything wrong with her character, except for maybe the fact that she felt a little thrown in. But, I mean, that was kind of the same with Lando in the original trilogy. So, I mean, I don't see the problem with her character.
Yeah, because I think she was just fine. I actually really liked her character, and I didn't think that she needed to be bullied so hard on Twitter and on social media so much that she had to quit all and shut down all of her social media. And I don't think that she should have been like sidelined in like the ninth film.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What do you think about the relationship between Ren and Rey?
I think it's interesting. I've really liked the take that they did on their relationship because it's something that we haven't really seen before, and I think it's interesting to see two people that are so different being connected through the Force. It's not something that they've seen up till this point in the Star Wars movies.
Yeah, do you think that there's a romantic connection between the two?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Especially like with all the late night calls he keeps on sending to Rey?
Well, I mean, I just feel like he very much is infatuated with her because she's so powerful, and also no one's ever really cared about him he hasn't had many people care about him until, other than his parents, until Rey came along.
That's true. I mean, even his uncle Luke was like, he's beyond saving, so I must kill him.
Mm-hmm.
And also, so speaking of which, what did you think of Luke's character in this film?
It didn't bother me that much. I know a lot of people didn't like it, but I mean, it didn't feel that strange to me. I think he kind of exemplified sort of both the Yoda and Obi-Wan character in a way.
Really?
Yeah.
What did you think about the whole sacred text thing, and then Yoda just like destroys it?
I mean, I guess it made sense. It was just, it was the beginning of a new era. I think it's just what they were trying to say.
Yeah, I think so too. There's lots of references to like letting go of the past in this film, and especially with Ren, who is always like, "Let go of the past, kill it if you have to." And I think it's also like the main theme was with Rian Johnson trying to say to the fans that Star Wars is going into a completely new direction. It doesn't have to be the same as it used to be. It's now a new thing.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that might have been what he was going for.
Yeah, I kind of think so. So also, like, in addition to the actress who plays Rose Tico getting a lot of hate on social media, Rian Johnson got a lot of hate on social media. Do you think? What do you think about that?
I mean, I don't think it's surprising. If people don't like something, they're going to blame the person in charge of it. And since Rian Johnson was in charge of this, he was the one that got the backlash when people didn't like the movie.
Yeah, a lot of people call him Ruin Johnson now.
Oh, that's great.
Really?
I haven't heard that.
It's kind of a mean nickname, but it's kind of clever. Oh, snap. So what I think about Luke's character, I think it also kind of mirrors the way Anakin felt in the prequel series, like how he became very like distrustful of the Jedi, and now Luke's distrustful of the Jedi himself, and now he wants Jediism to be destroyed completely. He wants the Force to die with him, and he doesn't want to do it anymore. So that's why he didn't want to like train Rey. And I also heard that Mark Hamill, was kind of didn't really agree with the way Luke's character was being dealt with in this film, though he kind of regrets being a bit public about it. Yeah. So what did you think about the relationship between him and Rey?
I thought it was interesting. You know, I mean, I've always liked Luke, so it was neat seeing him kind of having to sort of switching roles, because he was always kind of the beacon of hope in the original movies, and now he's having to see that beacon of hope be exemplified in someone else because he's lost hope. So he gets to see that in Rey now, like how I guess Obi-Wan kind of saw it in him in the original movie.
Yeah, so you didn't mind that he became like this old shell of a man?
I think it made sense. He lost everything, so he gave up on things.
Yeah, and I believe that Rey kind of viewed Luke as this father figure, so I guess she was kind of desperately holding on to that.
Yeah.
Because I know that she came in because the Resistance told her to find him, but when she told that to Luke, he was like, "No, why are you here, really?" And she didn't have an answer for that. And I think the answer was because she wanted to find her parents, or at least the father figure, which is Luke to her. And so, what did you think about the reveal that Rey's parents were nobodies?
Well, I mean, I never believed it, even when I saw it in theaters. I figured they were teasing for something bigger.
Really? So you didn't believe it one bit? You thought Kylo Ren was, like, lying to her?
No, I didn't. I mean, yeah, I did think he was lying. Now that what we know from the new movies, I realize that wasn't the case. But, yeah, I always figured there was something more to that.
Yeah. Which is kind of funny, because originally Colin Trevorrow was supposed to be the director of Episode 9, the guy who made Jurassic World and those types of films. But he was later fired because of what happened on Book of Henry. And his original script came out about what he originally wanted to do. And in that script, Kylo Ren actually killed Rey's parents, and Rey's parents really were just junk traders. So, do you think it would have been different in story-wise if that were true?
Yeah, I think it would have been different.
Do you think the fans would have liked that?
I don't know. The fans are very fickle.
I think so too. Do you think the one of the reasons why a lot of people didn't like it, like The Last Jedi, was because it didn't fit into their their own personal theories?
Probably.
Yeah, I think so as well. And because I want to see like Star Wars be its own thing. Like, I feel like you can watch The Last Jedi without watching The Force Awakens or The Rise of Skywalker and still enjoy it, because it feels like it's its own film. Am I right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and because
I don't really agree with that, but
you don't, you think it has to be, you have to watch the other two to understand what's going on?
well, I mean, it's pretty. I mean, if you haven't seen the other movies, you have no clue what is going on in this movie.
Oh, I guess you're right. Maybe I just say that because I subconsciously know what's going on because I've already seen the other two.
Yeah.
I think that's why I say that. All right, I stand corrected. So, did you like seeing Yoda return?
Oh yeah, I really liked seeing Yoda return. I really liked the fact that they used the old puppet version. I thought that was a nice little harkening back to the original trilogy.
I thought so too, because I personally didn't like CGI Yoda. I liked puppet Yoda.
Yeah.
Yeah, and because I like him because he's supposed to be like this voice of reason, especially for Luke. And I remember when one of my friends said that Yoda is like the person who, like beats your senses back into you, which is what he did in this film. Because Luke was like, "I'm gonna burn down all the Jedi records or whatever," and Yoda was like, "Okay, fine, I'll do it for you," because the records don't really matter. It's just it's the Force, dude. You just have to like believe in it. You have to have hope. None of this teaching stuff.
Yeah.
Which is kind of funny because the sacred texts actually end up. We see the sacred texts again on. Was it on the Millennium Falcon?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was still there, so we're still good. Which I think is what Leia uses to train Rey in the next film. But whatever.
Yeah, I guess so.
Oh, speaking of which, what did you think about Leia in this film?
I liked it. I liked that she was there. I especially liked her relationship with Poe getting to be more developed, because in a way, I think what's really interesting about her and Poe's relationship is that Poe's kind of like the son she never had. Poe's the one that, stuck with the rebellion, and I think it's pretty clear that he sees Leia as sort of a motherly figure too, because I think it's a really sweet moment when she's kind of like unconscious and he puts his hand on top of her, so it's clear that she means more to him than just a commander, and I think that's a really sweet relationship between her and Poe.
Yeah, I believe so. I believe that too. Because you can tell, especially in that scene, that he really does care for her. And he wants to do what's best for the Resistance and her. And I know that Carrie Fisher passed away during the production of the film, and I was surprised that they didn't kill off her character in this film. What about you?
I mean, I don't know, to be honest. I don't know if that would have, because there wasn't really a good way to do that in regard to, like, where the film headed by the end of the movie. So, I mean, I'm not necessarily surprised that they didn't do that. Honestly, what I was figuring that they were going to do was going to kill her in the scroll of the Red Skywalker, but they didn't do that, which surprised me.
Oh wait, what was the scroll of the Skywalker?
I mean, like, the opening titles of the movie.
Oh yeah. So you're saying that it was on the opening scroll they would have said, "Oh no, Commander Leia's dead."
Something along those lines.
Or
that's
like,
what I was expecting, but I think it was a little bit more tastefully done than that. So I thought that was cool in the newer movie, but that's the new movie, not this one.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a future episode once it comes out on streaming, because it's still not on theaters right now. So, what would you say to a person who is like, "This movie stinks because whatever"?
Well, I mean, I'd probably say something along the lines of, I think it's more of a matter of people don't like the movie rather than it's a bad movie. So you can not like a movie, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's a bad movie. So I'd say it's all a matter of just personal taste.
I don't
think necessarily it's a bad movie.
Yeah. What would you say to people who would say it's a good movie, but not a good Star Wars movie?
I'd say that's a fair assessment, I suppose.
Yeah, because I hear that line a lot in terms of this film.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know that there's a huge disconnect between the critics and the audience, especially when you look up like on Rotten Tomatoes, it has like a 92% critics, but like 42 audience. So there's a big difference between the two. And one of their big issues was the casino scene. What did you think about that one?
I mean, I'd say it was probably one of the weaker points of the movie. It just didn't seem very... Well, I mean, it wasn't very useful to the plot, and it kind of had that sort of clunky sort of prequel CGI stuff that didn't quite... It wasn't the strongest part of the movie, I'd say.
Yeah, because I think the only reason why they did that was to have Finn and Rose do something. They need to be like active. And that's to find the master code breaker, which they never find. They found Benicio del Toro's character. I don't know his name. I think he's just called TJ? DJ. They find DJ. So what did you think about him?
I thought he was a pretty cool character.
Yeah, even though he's all like good and evil, it's all just the same thing, dude.
Yeah.
So, would you agree with that statement about the whole idea that good and evil are just a matter of perspective?
No, I don't think I agree with that, because I think the whole point that I think what you really see with his character is just that the people on that planet shared that perspective. They were all out to make a buck, but at the end of the day, there still was good and there still was evil. They just wanted to profit from either side.
Yeah, because a lot of them were like war profiteers and arms dealers. And there was this whole deal with the those horse-like animals being like tortured and stuff, and I think that was like the center point of their meaningfulness was within those horses. So in order to, like, I guess their idea of stopping them was freeing the horse creatures, which they did, and that they saved for their little side quest. And then that's that. So, what did you think about that? Do you think like Luke was justified for trying to kill Ben when he was still a student?
No, I don't think so, and I think the movie makes that pretty clear that that's not what they're trying to get at.
Really?
The whole point is that Luke gave in to fear instead of reaching out to help his... He let his fear guide him instead of trusting the Force and trusting that there was still good in his nephew, like the way he trusted that there was still good in his father.
Yeah, because I remember there was like multiple renditions of what happened that night. Kylo Ren's idea of it was that Luke just came in his bed and tried to just straight up murder him with with complete bloodlust. With are you trying to murder him cold blood? Then there was Luke's take on it, which was originally like I just wanted to talk to him, but then he tried to attack me. But then the whole truth came out when Rey forced his hand, saying that he viewed Ben and he thought that he was like he was already turned to the dark side because Snoke already had him. So he was like, you know what, and then like in a fleeting moment he just turned on his lightsaber and he was like, I'm gonna kill him before he does anything. But he doesn't do anything because that feeling is gone, and now he's like, oh no, I'm so ashamed because I thought about killing my nephew. But by the time he realized that Ben saw him with his lightsaber drawn and like thought and just like went on defense mode and just attacked him and destroyed the temple and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So, like, what did you think about the character of Snoke in this film?
I thought he was an interesting enough character.
You think you think he's a good villain?
I don't know if that was really his purpose in this movie necessarily. He was more of a... I don't know if his purpose was so much to be a villain as it was he was sort of... I'm not really sure how to describe it. He was more like a means to an end within the film and within the saga, I think, within the trilogy as a whole. Like, his purpose was to get Kylo Ren where he needed to be.
Yeah, because he wanted to, like, manipulate him because he wanted him to become Darth Vader, like, the next Darth Vader, and he, like, uses that a lot. Because,
yeah.
Like, I know that Kylo Ren really, like, idolized him.
Yeah.
And that's why he wore the mask, because he wanted to be like him. And there was that whole thing where he, like, destroys the mask, and it's supposed to represent that he's, like, growing up, like, he's beyond that point anymore. Like, he doesn't want to just be Darth Vader, he wants to be his own thing. So, that's one of the things why I liked how he just, like, destroyed the mask. But then he, like, remakes it again in the next film, but, you know, that's whatever.
Yeah.
So I guess since he's not that big of a villain, you think that it was okay for him to just get, like, killed by Ren?
Rey didn't kill him. Kylo Ren did.
No, I said Ren.
Oh. I mean, I personally didn't mind it because I feel like in the new movies they've kind of, like, given a good explanation for it. I'm not sure whether that's what Rian Johnson intended, but since that is how it turned out, I think that in the context of the new movies, it's okay that he got killed off because the real antagonist wasn't Snoke. It ended up being Kylo Ren. Like, he's the real antagonist.
Oh, yeah, definitely, because by definition in story terms, the antagonist is the character whose goal conflicts with the protagonist's goal. And that is definitely Ren to T, because his goal is to become, like, the new leader of the galaxy and to be, like, the next Darth Vader and feared and whatever, and to destroy the Resistance. That was his deal. But we can still see that he only really cares about himself in this film, especially in the climax, and not so much the First Order, because when the First Order was attacking the base on Crate, when Luke came, he was all like, "Stop everything! I'm gonna go down and I'm gonna kill him myself. I don't care whatever it is. I'm gonna go down and fight him."
Yeah.
And I think Luke knew that, which allowed them to, like, escape and everything. So he used that to his advantage. But we that scene we realize what kind of character he is. He doesn't care about the First Order so much as his own goals. So what did you think about the whole astral projection thing with the Force? Because I know a lot of people didn't like that.
I mean, I guess it could bother people, but the way I see it, in the original movies, they introduced a new Force power in every single movie, so it doesn't bother me that much. I mean, if the Jedi are capable of all these other things, I'm sure there's stuff that we didn't get to see just in the last six movies. I think I don't think that's a huge deal.
Yeah, because I don't think it's fair for a person to be like, that's not how you could do. The Force doesn't do that. Because I don't think we've seen, like, the full range of what the Force can do. Because the Force can do so much different things. And I think it's really interesting to see, like, what new creative ways the characters can use the Force in order to, like, advance the narrative. So, and then after that, Luke dies, but, you know, whatever. So what did you think about, like, Luke's arc in the film?
I mean, I thought it worked because, I mean, he had a complete character arc because we see first that he's kind of lost touch with, you know, the person that everyone has known him as, and then we see him kind of reclaim that and, you know, rise up and do what needs to be done. Also, he does that by preparing Rey to kind of, like, take his place.
Yeah, but he does that pretty hesitantly because he was constantly being like, the Jedi doesn't need the Force, so get out of here. But then you finally realize that he finally does believe in Rey when he says, like, I'm not going to be the last Jedi. Referring to Rey, of course. And what did you think about, like, Rey's struggle between, like, the light and the dark side?
I think it makes her an interesting and complex character. I absolutely love Rey's character because we get to see this sort of struggle between good and evil that's similar to Anakin's, and yet she's so it's interesting to just see how polar opposite she is with Kylo Ren, because Kylo Ren feels the pull to the light and he fights for the darkness, and she does the exact opposite.
Yes, I totally believe that too. What did you think about like Rey being constantly like, "Oh, I can save Kylo Ren," that kind of thing?
I thought it was interesting because when I watched the first one that came out, The Force Awakens, I loved Kylo Ren's character. I love his character. I think he's an excellent antagonist. I think Adam Driver's an incredible actor, and he's embodied this amazingly complex character, and I love him, but I absolutely despised him after he killed Han Solo because he just did it so cold-heartedly. We hadn't seen this kind of cold-hearted sort of murder in Star Wars movies before, and I remember talking it over with people I'd watched it with, and I'm like, okay, there's no way they're going to be able to redeem this guy. They cannot redeem him. He's just he has to pay for what he's done. And it's interesting how even in this first movie they begin to like plant seeds of sympathy for him, and I think it tells a really amazing overarching story of redemption. And it's interesting because Rey absolutely hates his guts, but once she starts realizing that the two of them aren't that different, she starts seeing him less, through that connection, she's able to see him less as just a faithless enemy and more as a person. And I think that makes sense because when you start to see someone more as a person, you start to have a little bit more compassion for her. And since she has such a drive to do good, she ends up sympathizing with him, and I think that makes sense in regards to the rest of her character.
Yeah, that must be very difficult to try to redeem a character who did something so despicable, and you would think that it would be like he would be so far gone, but then be able to allow for the audience to feel for him again through these series of events. And I think that's very impressive that this film did. And also there was also that whole scene in the ninth movie where Han Solo was like, "I forgive you for killing me, so be good, not bad," and he finally listens. But we'll talk about that in another one. So, any final thoughts of this film?
Not really.
Not really? All right.
No.
That's great. So I think we talked a good deal about this film because I think it's a really good film, and not a lot of people. I don't think a lot of people give it its due diligence because they're I would suggest you watch it. Would you suggest it?
Yeah, I think you should watch it.
Yeah. What rating would you give it?
Out of 10, I'd probably give it like a 7.
A 7?
Yeah, I'd say a 7.
Why minus 3?
I mean, I do think it's definitely not one of the strongest Star Wars movies, so that's why, you know what, forget that. I'd give it an 8. Probably
okay.
an 8.
Okay, that's, okay. Like, yeah, that's a good justification. I like that. So, I would give it a 9, because, I think it's really cool. But there was some, weak links, like the casino scene, and, that the relationship between Finn and Rose, that was kind of out of left field, but other than that, I think it was pretty good. Another thing, one last thing before we go, is DJ's character. I thought, after he left, I thought he was going to do something else. I thought he was going to play a bigger role. I thought he was going to come back. Especially, like, after he betrayed Finn and Rose, I thought he was going to come back and be like, psych, I was playing them to help you all along, but he never did. He never shows up.
I think it makes more sense that he didn't. That's in keeping with who his character was thus far.
Yeah, that's true. Did you notice that he has this stutter that he does?
Yes, I did notice that.
I wonder what that means. I think it's supposed to be like he had some had some doubt in it, and that's why he stutters.
I don't know. It might just have been to make a Star Wars character with a stutter. You haven't really seen that up till now.
Yeah, that's true. Could have been that. Well, alright. So, that's been The Last Jedi. Alright, everybody. Bye.
Bye.